Hey guys, and welcome back to another Doctor Who B&M review. Today I'm taking a look at the Sontaran set, or as I like to call it, the Harry Sullivan is an imbecile set. Not only are we getting re-releases of two of the most highly sought after figures from the classic range, now with new paint apps, but also Harry Sullivan, with a brand new head sculpt. We didn't think it could happen, but here he is. Once again, thanks to Character Options for sending this set over to be reviewed. So, now I've stopped hyperventilating, let's take a closer look. The figures are packaged in a window box with the new Collector's Type style guide, with the new logo, a blue and silver colour palette, with the rather snazzy gold embossed limited edition sticker. And then on the back of the box, we get a look at the figures inside. So let's start with the odd one out in this set. Lieutenant Harry Sullivan. I mean, holy moly, who'd have thought we'd get this? I am pinching myself. Now, I had a guess that we'd get a Sarah Jane Smith from Revenge of the Cybermen, you know, kind of using the older Sarah Jane Smith's head stuck on Martha Jones's body in the sort of combat fatigues, maybe with a mix and match of some of the primeval figures for the torso, you know, just an idea there. But obviously, as you can see, I was very wrong. But, you know, next year, please, character. But this is such a wonderful addition to the already incredibly well-represented Season 12 shelf. So, first things first, obviously the head sculpt is entirely new. Something we were always told was impossible with B&M sets, but now clearly isn't. This could very well mean we're going into whole new territory of what can be achieved with what are considered budget sets, which is incredibly exciting. The sculpt itself is a lovely representation of the late great Ian Marter. His short curls and wonderfully 70s sideburns are all captured here, and the light brown wash to the dark really helps the sculpt stand out. I'm sure this is not the last we've seen of this sculpt, if the formula of previous companions is anything to go by, so I'm half expecting we see a duffel coatless, just plain suited version of Harry sometime in the future. The body is a very clever reuse of the 4th Doctor in duffel coat from Season 12, atop of the Season 16 torso, as evidenced by the shirt and waistcoat sculpt. It's a very canny reuse, one of the best, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that the whole thing is new. The duffel coat is a accurate tan brown, and the jacket beneath is the navy blue of Harry's jacket, and the shirt section is a pale blue highlighted by grey buttons. It looks great. The only thing missing is the paisley neckerchief, which is a small price to pay. Then the legs and the shoes have been painted a matching grey and black. Overall, it's a lovely figure, and such a welcome addition to the line, especially when we assumed it was one we'd never get. Articulation-wise, he features the standard movement at the neck, shoulders, biceps, elbows, wrists, waist, hips, thighs, and knees. Next up is Styie, one of my favourite figures in the line when he first came out. The head sculpt is amazing and captures the look of John Friedlander's creation perfectly. The same must be said of the sculpting on the body, which is immaculate, with the creases and the rib texture of the fabric, the finer details on the belt and the communications device, along with the elbow and knee pads and armoured boots. However, the figure isn't just a straight re-release. They've updated the paint apps, which I quite like because it doesn't devalue the original figure in terms of appearance. So here the boots, helmet and neckpiece have been replaced with a brilliant silver rather than the dull grey of the original. Even the skin has been retouched with a darker wash. Now, while I prefer the original figure in terms of its accuracy to the on-screen look, this does make for a rather snazzy looking Sontaran, and for someone like me, I'm always happy to have more than one. It also makes details like the contrast between the shin guards and the rest of the boot really stand out, which I love. The figure comes with his famous domed helmet, and it might have been nice to add a dark wash to the mesh of the eyes, but it's a minor quibble. And along with that, he comes with his orange gun, perfect for zapping poor old Harry. Bear in mind, trying to get that gun into Stye's hand is very, very tricky. You might need to really prise the fingers to try and get it in there, so be careful when trying to do that. Finally, we also have Commander Lynx, the first Sontaran in Doctor Who, and much like Styie, he's an update of the original figure. The sculpt is exactly the same as Styie where the body is concerned, with the exception of the hands, which are the correct 3 fingers, and the leather boots. Again, the head sculpt is a wonderful representation of the original mask, but this time the dark brown skin has been replaced for a lighter tone, far closer to Styie. This is my only real complaint. I do think he should be a darker brown, but as someone who owns the original, that's not an issue. He also has a slight cross-eyed look, which was something that featured on the original release too. I can only assume that this is the real reason Lynx crashed on Earth in the first place. The silver has also been refreshed from the dull silver of the original to a more brilliant shiny silver. Again, while I think the original was a better representation of the on-screen character, this refresh makes for a nice army builder and or opportunity to get the character if you missed it the first time around. Just like Styie, he comes with his helmet, complete with insignia above the eyes, and the iconic wand weapon in black, silver and bronze. So I really do like the new paint apps on these guys. Again, it doesn't take anything away from the original, and I think that sort of black and the silver against each other kind of gives me a nostalgic feeling for the old Dapol figures, which I really love. Articulation-wise, both Sontarans are the same, as they use the same body and feature movement at the neck, shoulders, biceps, which is a bit tricky to move because of the large chest, elbows, wrists, waist, hips, thighs, and knees. So there we go, guys, that's the Sontaran set. A fantastic opportunity for you to army build some Sontarans or get those pesky figures that were so expensive, and of course, add Harry Sullivan to your collection. That was such a wonderful surprise, and I know so many of you will be thrilled about it just as much as I am. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you next time for another B&M review.